I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Hey, we're recording the podcast. Shut up.
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning Somewhere!
for May 6, 2025. My name is Bernie Burns, sitting right over there. I like her a lot. Hey, are your headphones, are they okay?
Yeah, everything is a bit loud, but I'm fine.
Mine's a bit quiet, so that probably explains why yours
There's
would be a
been
bit
a toddler in here.
Probably so. Toddler messing with everything. Hey, everybody. It is Tuesday. It's a lovely Tuesday.
It's lovely for us. If you're TikTok, maybe not so much.
We're trying something special today, too. We're trying a very early record on Tuesday, and probably we'll do it again on Thursday.
So welcome to us pretending like we might actually be early risers.
Morning. Yeah, if we sound a little, it's because it's early morning for us. So TikTok got fined.
Yes. So this is TikTok has been issued a 530 million euro fine.
Oh, okay.
Because it sent the user data of European users to be stored in China.
What?
I know. This is one of the reasons that the U.S. was so concerned that they did this whole divest or ban thing, right? Which, by the way, the new extended deadline is coming up on that, and it looks like Trump might punt it again. So it's sort of like eventually maybe consider divesting, but you know what? You're fine. But Europe is not having it. They have fined them 530 million euros, that's not a small fine,
No.
even for TikTok.
Europe loves a good fine. They really like to fine people.
Well, the thing is, a lot of times those fines are the cost of doing business, right? This is the kind of fine that will wipe out the revenue that TikTok makes over a significant period of time in the region.
How much was it?
530 million euros?
530 million euros. Really? That's as much revenue as TikTok makes in the EU?
Yes.
Total?
The company has been fined 485 million euro for its data transfers to China and another 45 million euro for the lack of transparency in its privacy policy. So take that.
Uh-oh. What lack of transparency. That's
Well,
worrying.
a lot of it says, so this is an article from Politico. I'll put this in the link dump. TikTok had for years claimed it did not store European or American user data on servers in China, but in April informed the regulator that it had discovered in February that limited user data had in fact been stored in China, which causes obviously concerns for European user privacy given the sweeping powers that the Chinese government has to demand user data from companies in China.
You know, we're seeing a lot of people who are saying, I don't want to do business in the U.S. for a lot of reasons. The primary one is tariffs at the moment. I wonder at what point with regulation in the EU where people just go, not doing it. We've seen it with like small, like local affiliate news channels in the U.S.
Yes, where if you're in Europe and you go to, I don't know, like KVUE in Austin, it just says this website is not for you. Like this, you're not allowed on this website. I can't even because of GDPR, right? They are not. It's not worth it for those websites to comply with GDPR and how they handle user data because, well, it's KVUE in Austin, and what is someone in Europe doing looking up that website anyway?
Remember when we were in Austin and I had for about 5 minutes, I had a new computer?
I do. Yeah. Before it immediately had to go back. Yes.
Before it went back. And I was happy with myself for returning it. I think it was the right choice to do it. But I was setting everything up and I can't recall what sites specifically I'm thinking of, but I got to give a shout out to people who I know have a presence in the EU and do accept every iteration of every possible cookie. Like they delineate everything on their website. And then you go to America and they go, we track some stuff. You're like, cool, got it.
Right.
Like,
except to use this website.
Right. Yes, exactly. It's like you're not going to read it. We know you're not going to read it, but just hit the got it button and got it. Okay. We're moving ahead. I like the fact that they have the balls to do that. Like they make two different versions of their site based on where you're coming from. You know, they don't just go, okay, this is the most strict version, so we'll just make this and that'll be our only version. They're like, no, it's worth it to us to be able to track all that extra shit without any approval.
Well, it's because if you're like me, you are very slow at browsing the internet because you take the time to go through and untick every single one of those cookies. Marketing, no. Ad tracking, no. You want like that? Go fuck yourself. No.
You know what? I should do it. I just refuse to do it. Is the thing where it's like, do you want to share data with us so we'll make the product better? It's like, I don't trust you. I really don't. Not even Steam, where they want to know like the specs of my computer. I said, nope. I don't. You don't need to know that.
You're not going to participate in the Steam census?
Do you do it?
No, but mostly, I probably, if I had like a really dope, like a new PC that was like top of the line specs and everything, I probably would, just to show off for the Steam census or whatever. But on the hardware that I'm running, I don't need it to know. All right, what I'm running, because I know that it's not great. Okay, so we're all dealing with this.
You click the button and anonymously you go,
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, you're not beating these guys who have like the water cooled systems and they can they dunk it in deionized water and things like that.
No, I think I can identify when I got bad at building PCs, and it's when things like water cooling became the thing to deal with. Because I was always taught growing up building PCs that you don't want water in your computer. That usually if there's water in your computer, that's not great, right? Something has gone terribly wrong. And so when everyone thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put water in my computer, and that's going to make things awesome. And I went, I clearly don't understand this. It had all the...
It's all pipes. It's not all, actually... You're not dumping water in it.
There are builds where the entire case is filled with like this special non-conducting coolant or
I think it's
whatever.
deionized.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just want to like put some of those, those little fish, the little plastic fish that will just go doot, 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 with their tails and like swim around in a pretend aquarium. I feel like I should do a build with that coolant or that whatever gel and put some of those fish in it.
You're like, when you put water in your computer, you're like the Ed Harris character in The Abyss when he starts breathing the water from the suit. And it's like, the immediate reaction to it.
Look, I never had a pair of those really dope like stripper heels with the, they have they're clear underneath and they have like goldfish or poker chips or something in them.
That's strippers or is that drag queens? I don't think that's strippers.
I don't know. I've seen some strippers with some pretty dope shoes like that. And I'm just saying that I don't have that. So I guess I'd better go and put poker chips in my computer build instead.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there you go. And by the way, I want to confirm what you said. We are awful at building computers now.
Awful.
Great at building computers. Like on the fly, like there's even these new kind of hard drives, these M2 chips, which we've talked about before. Which is just, by the way, it's the worst way to put in anything on a motherboard. You put it in at like a 45-degree angle and then bend it down towards the motherboard and snap it in.
No one should, if you're bending things with a computer installation, that feels wrong.
Just put it in
things
like a chip.
Should go in, and then it needs to have the two little arms that come up and go, got it. It's like you're catching a rocket that's come into land, okay?
The two of us sitting around in Austin because of tariffs, we thought maybe we should buy a video card. Meanwhile, you're in the background buying Xboxes like you're in Goodfellas. You're warehousing them in the garage.
I set up a side hustle just hanging out in alleys, opening my trench coat going, you want an Xbox?
But listening to the two of us talk about what is the best
Check out my
video
cool
card,
shoes. They got poker chips.
That was such an embarrassing. I felt like a fly on the wall for my own conversation. I was so humiliated by myself. It's awful.
It's okay for us to be bad at this sort of thing.
By the way, sorry if I spoiled The Abyss for anybody. It's something that happens in the last act of that. But at least I'm not Marvel.
Right, you have nothing to worry about. That's years and years. Marvel already spoiled Thunderbolts themselves on billboards at the very least in LA. There's a thing that happens at the end of the movie. And it involves an asterisk, and they have already changed out the posters that they had, the Thunderbolts asterisk posters with all the characters that they had, literally building size advertisements. The ones they do like on the side of a big building. They already, as of like Sunday. They didn't even wait for the full weekend to be over. Sunday, they were already changing that stuff over to make sure you know about this thing that happens at the end of the movie. What? I mean, come on, man. I know that.
I like that you're spending so much effort to navigate around what the spoiler is when it's literally on billboards in major cities.
I know, it's because I feel like this was a dick move on Marvel's part. Like, oh, you didn't see it opening night? Well, go fuck yourself.
I think it's okay.
Really?
I thought it was a weird thing in the movie anyway. I'm going to go one level closer to the spoiler and say they changed the name of the team towards the end of the movie. And they have now updated the billboards and the posters to reflect that third act change of the name.
Yes.
Like third and a half act. It's like right at the end.
Yeah, and the thing is, the movie is doing well, right? A lot of people did go see it opening weekend and are aware of what we're talking about.
People like it?
Yeah, people like it. It's doing
people
great
in this room
on
like
reviews.
It?
I liked it very much. I think I liked it more than you, but I also like a lot of the things that it was doing.
It's a good team movie. I will say that individually, there's no character that I identify with anywhere in that group.
I thought there was one particular standout, and that was Yelena, who I just think is great. She's been great in the shows that she's popped up in. She was great in Black Widow. I know I like that character in particular, but I thought they all were good. But overall, the movie doing well. Interestingly, so it's being compared now. This is apparently the first weekend of the summer movie season. So it's then, of course, going under the microscope for how it's doing and what that means for the industry and so on and so forth. Because last year, this weekend, you know what came out?
I have no idea. No, what came out?
Fall Guy. That was the...
okay, compared to Fall Guy.
Right, so it's getting compared to Fall Guy, which, okay, come on, that's not fair. That's not fair. Fall Guy, however, did not do great. It fell below expectations, and this one has doubled what did it looks like. Let's see.
I like how everyone's just ignoring the Minecraft movie, which is dominating everything right
yes,
now.
But that's not the point. The point is that one came out a couple of weeks ago, so it didn't kick off the summer movie season.
It's like literally in theaters right now.
Yeah, but we're talking openings. That one was like, the movie of the Planet of the Apes, where it's like, this one is like, it's got, strong potential for the spring, but this summer is like, this is what matters. Here's where the playoffs begin, I guess.
I feel like there's NBA playoffs going on, by the way. I really have nothing to say. We've
But
made it
they're
past the
happening?
first round of playoffs are now over, and we are in the second round.
Are you cheering for any team in particular?
I am not. Thank you for asking. Thank you. I am not.
I'm cheering for the Thunderbolts.
I saw the Lakers are out, the Clippers are out, and the Celtics are in. That's about all I can add to the conversation around the NBA playoffs. And I know that the Lakers were eliminated by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay, let me see if I can remember what so the Lakers or LA. What other teams did you say?
Clippers. What town are the Clippers from?
Cincinnati.
They're from LA as well.
Oh, okay.
There's two teams from LA.
That doesn't seem fair.
They might have a different, they might be, I don't know, like Orange County Clippers or something like that.
Hold on, that means Cincinnati's team must be the Bengals.
I should double check that. I actually don't know that the Clippers are still playing in LA. They could be playing in Oakland or something like that. For all
what city are the Clippers in? Yeah, no, it's still Wikipedia has them down as the Los Angeles Clippers.
All right, good for them. Yeah, sticking around. Yeah, so both the LA teams have been eliminated.
Well, I'm sure LA is very sad about it. They're going to go look at the side of a building.
Dodgers are playing. Who cares, man?
Not even have to go see a movie this week.
It got ruined for them on a giant marquee. I honestly don't think it's that big a deal. I like they're doing something different like this. Like they telegraphed it as well with that asterisk.
They did, yes. But it's like, I don't know. I just feel like if you have something planned as a reveal in a movie, why would you go see the movie if you're like, oh, well, I already know what the reveal is. Now I don't need to see it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Tom Cruise one, The Edge of Tomorrow, and then they were like, live, die, repeat. They should have just done that, change it during it. It almost becomes like its own Mandela effect, that movie with that, which fits in really well with the theme of that motion picture.
It does. You're like, wait, what was it? And then it's and it helps as well that it's an adaptation of like another thing, and so there are layers to this repeat.
There is a Mandela effect episode of Black Mirror. I'm saying this by osmosis. I haven't watched it, but I've seen some things about it. I think you should watch it before you learn anything about it, before you pass any billboards. I think you should go watch it.
I do. I need to trek through the whole season that's out now.
Yeah. So what did better in the first weekend of May that kicked off the summer movie season? Did Fall Guys do better, or did the movie previously known as Thunderbolts do well?
It was definitely Thunderbolts. So Thunderbolts brought in 162 million globally, and that was roughly, I think. Let me see.
Can I just say it's not going to matter in exactly 364 days because Doomsday is going to come out that same weekend, and it's going to destroy
all the numbers. Yeah, it looks like here we go. Thunderbolts doubled last year's dismal start to summer with The Fall Guy. It's also interesting to note that it means that this weekend's ticket sales were 15% above the 2024 levels, but 31% below 2019. That's not fair though either, because that was Endgame.
Oh, okay.
So you hear a lot about how theaters haven't recovered from COVID and all that sort of stuff. That's what they're talking about. But they're also talking about Endgame.
Yeah.
That was like that's a big one. It's
like
an
number
outlier.
2 on the all-time list, isn't it?
It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, you're not going to beat that unless you're James Cameron specifically showing up.
Just James Cameron.
James Cameron's Fall Guy. Destroyed Endgame. But it makes me wonder, too, because you look at these big movies and they take place all over the world in a lot of cases. There were scenes in Thunderbolts Asterisk, which are in lots of different countries. Or like we were talking about, Endgame. There's a scene that's in a train station we go to all the time. Is it either Glasgow or Edinburgh?
I think it was Glasgow.
I think it's Glasgow as well.
So there's a lot of things filmed all over the place. But here's an issue that I think a lot of the comic adaptations are running into, MCU in particular, and that is that there are just too many goddamn superheroes in New York. So at the time,
it's been a problem for a while.
They need to franchise, okay? They need to like spread out a little bit, boys style. But at the time that Thunderbolts takes place in the MCU, Daredevil has also been happening, right? Daredevil Born Again. So at this time in the MCU, Fisk, Kingpin, is the mayor of New York. And he has a whole anti-vigilante agenda. You've got Spider-Man running around somewhere. You've got the street levels. You've got Punisher. You've got Daredevil. They're in New York. They're doing stuff. These guys are in New York, and there's no mention really that the mayor's cracking down on vigilantes.
You're kind of falling into a classic comic book argument of where is so-and-so? If there's this major incident in New York, why don't the Avengers handle it? Why is Spider-Man handling it instead?
Look, it's just
saying because it's his comic book.
I'm just saying, apparently Cincinnati is wide open. There's no Bengals. There's no Clippers. They are ready for a superhero, okay? And then you don't have to worry about all the superheroes stepping on each other's toes. Just get a couple of them in Cincinnati. What about the Avengers of Philadelphia? Come on.
Well, we'll talk about it later. But I think they really kind of leveled the playing field for that when they put out the Eternals, when there was this big event that could have destroyed the entire planet, and nobody even bothered to pay attention to it. It was just like, oh, you know what? This is taking place, but I'm sure some team of superpowered people that we're not aware of and have never heard of, I'm sure they'll just come out of nowhere and take care of that.
Well, the thing about that, Bernie, is that no one knew it was happening until a couple months later, the Google Maps van drove past, and everyone went, where did that come from?
Like the idea of Captain America checking Rotten Tomatoes to find out, what was this? In the ocean?
Wait, what are you talking about?
A giant robot thing or whatever? A Voltron?
Speaking of giant things in the ocean.
It was really great the way they tied that in with Captain America.
That was great. Yeah. But Clair Obscur, which also, as a video game, features a giant thing in the ocean.
No, luckily we have another Xbox that we can play this on.
Look, this game is a phenomenon. So a few weeks ago, all anyone was talking about was Blueprints. And then the Oblivion remaster came out. That's doing great. But Clair Obscur is running away with the like every gamer, right? It outpaced Oblivion remastered on Steam, on the Steam store. So there's more people, it overtook it on the bestsellers list. It's having 150,000 concurrent players at peak. And the best thing about it, Bernie, is because so many people are playing it, it's teaching me how to play it as well. This is a tough game because it's turn-based, right? Each of the characters has time to pick their move. But when you get attacked, there's a timing element to it because you can dodge attacks. Or if you're really good at timing, you can parry the attack and counterattack. But that's really, really hard. And I'm struggling with it. But I'm learning, thanks to all of the other millions of people playing this game now, that there are builds you can put together that you can thrive on suckitude. It's fantastic. Like you can set up a character to automatically die at the start of the fight. And then when they die, it does all these other things as well. So it it automatically damages the enemy and it staggers them and it buffs all of your friends. So your guy dies and everyone wins. It's ridiculous.
So I don't understand something about this game.
Yeah,
clearly.
okay. Ask questions.
Because you're just setting someone up to die?
Yeah, well, that's a build that you can put in place. So the game relies on you to dodge and parry a lot of attacks. Otherwise, you're going to get wiped out constantly, which is kind of annoying, honestly. But you can all just set up to there's things called pictos, basically, where you can basically assign perks to each of your characters so that they automatically get like a shell damage reduction when they hit 50% health, things like that, right? Bonuses. Or you can set them up to suck really badly so that if you get hit or if your character dies, that's when you actually do great damage.
I don't understand the dying part. Isn't dying the thing you don't want to do in any video game ever?
Yes, but you have a whole party. So you have one character set up to die and then the rest of the party benefits every single time.
You're like the bitch of your friend group. All right, guys, here goes my big move.
Can you imagine sitting around the campfire after a long day fighting monsters and you're like, died really good that time?
Yeah, you were totally awesome, dude. It's like, hey, does anyone else want to die?
Does anyone else want to take a turn?
Fight?
No, I'm good.
That sucks, dude. That sucks. That's like when somebody makes you be the mage in your group.
But I like these ones where it's like you get an extra action point if you don't dodge an attack, because guess what? I'm going to try to dodge the attack, but I'm probably going to fail, and at least I get something out of it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with me in video games. I don't know if it's me or if it's the video games that I'm choosing, because I feel like the last two new games I played both had the same experience. I was told these are clearly going to be Game of the Year games. They're very early in the life cycle. You should play it, and I played it, and they were right. It's an amazing game. I played it for about a week, and then it just fell out of my head. I'm talking about Balatro and Blueprints.
Well, I think part of that is as intended to some degree, right? Where those are both single player games, right? You play them, you have the experience, and then you reach the 46th room of Blueprints or whatever. You go and you do the extra challenges that you want to do.
Actually, I died in the first room, but my build was awesome. It's incredible. Best gaming experience ever.
The next 3 rooms unlocked automatically. So you're playing them as intended. You're having the experience, and then you move on. That's the whole thing with single player games, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I'm sure that game companies are all about this games as a service, to keep you playing them and keep you interacting with them for a much longer period of time, to extend that tail, right? Instead of just having all of that experience up front and then you don't think about it again. But you're having the experience that's intended for a single player game.
Yeah, no, it's true. Play it and then play to completion and be happy with that. Although Blueprints, I've seen behind the looking glass, and I'm like, I don't want to do all this stuff. I totally get it. I also say, tying this back into the discussion around Thunderbolts as well, it is one of those games, Blueprints, where you're not supposed to find out information. And there's shows and other forms of media that are like that, where, hey, don't get spoiled on this. And so you end up avoiding all the conversation around it, and then you just kind of get left out of everything, That's true. But the good news, Bernie, is you don't have to worry about that with Blueprints anymore, because they just put the ending on the side of a building in LA. It's right on the side of the mansion when you walk up on day one. That's it. I will say that there is a great feature. It's one of those things I was thinking about. They surely must have this, and they surely did, and it was great. I have to watch all my Major League Baseball games delayed now, but having to click on the title of it without seeing what the score was is almost impossible. So there's a setting in the app now to just hide all scores. So
Oh,
you
great.
never see any scores for any game ever.
Well, but then how am I going to know how the Bengals are doing?
How are you going to know how the Bengals are doing? The Bengals who play in what city?
Cincinnati.
The Cincinnati Bengals of baseball, yes. My favorite team of all time.
Well,
did you say Bengals or did you say Bangles?
I'm Bengals like the tiger, but it is
Okay.
as we move through this, it is starting to sound more and more like the 80s band.
Yeah, you throw 4 balls and they walk like an Egyptian to first base. I got it. Gotcha. I got you. All right, Ashley, who do we have to thank for balking today?
All right. For balking today, we're thanking Keishan Patel and Jordan LP1. Thank you for sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morning somewhere.
530 million euro fines for everybody today. Sorry your day was the day where that landed.
You were having a great day. Now, maybe not so much.
Hey, listen, it's a tough world in the EU regulations. That's all I got to say. All right, well, that does it for us today. May 6, 2025. We will be back to talk to you tomorrow. We hope you will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone who isn't us is an enemy.
Hey! We're recording the podcast!
Ominous.
Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning somewhere!
for May 5th, 2025. My name is Bernie